The town of Lexington is steeped in history, and the Hancock-Clarke house is no exception. This house played a key role in the start of the American Revolution in 1775. Hey, Allison.
Hey, Norm.
So tell me the story of this house.
Well, the story begins right outside here. This was one of Paul Revere's main destinations on his midnight ride in April of 1775. He galloped up the road to warn leaders who were staying in this house, John Hancock and Sam Adams, of the oncoming British troops. Let's go inside and I'll give you a tour.
All right.
So Norm, this is the keeping room. And this is where we can surmise that John Hancock and Sam Adams would have had dinner with Reverend Clarke and his family on the eve of the battle. Now, Reverend Clarke was the minister after Reverend Hancock, and Reverend Hancock was John Hancock's grandfather. So we know that John Hancock spent many happy times here as a boy.
So this was a very familiar place for him.
Yes, it was.
Wow, this is a bit of a surprise. Raised panels, pilasters, crown moldings, and ceramic tile around the fireplace. Seems a bit refined for a house that was way out in the country back then.
It does, doesn't it? But Norm, this is the most famous room in the house. This is where John Hancock and Sam Adams were sleeping in the early morning hours of April 19th when Paul Revere rode up to the house, banged on the door, and woke them up to let them know that the British regulars were on their way.
So this is where it all started back in 1775.
It is. Doesn't it just give you the chills?
It does. So this room is a very important part of American history. Thanks for the lesson.
You're welcome.
Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Norm.
So this is the kitchen in the old house.
Yes, it's the original kitchen, and it was a constant hub of activity in 1775. So you can see here that this large kitchen table is perfectly sized for the Clarkes' large family of 12 children.
I'll say it's certainly big enough, and it's beautiful.
Yes. So I'm using it today to display some artifacts that were on the Common on April 19th, 1775. I'm getting them ready for an upcoming exhibition, and I wanted to share them with you.
So these are originals.
They are originals.
Wow.
The drum here, made of wood, leather, and rope, was used by William Diamond, the 19-year-old drummer for the Lexington militia.
I notice there's a painting on this side of the drum.
Yes, in 1875, President Grant came to Lexington to help celebrate our centennial, and some local people painted this scene on the drum.
So it's a nice addition to the piece.
It really is. It's part of its history.
Right. So this is a musket that was actually used on that very day?
It is. It was owned by Hammond Reed, and he used it that morning. It's made of wood and iron and has a flintlock mechanism.
And these were not easy to use.
They weren't. There was really nothing automatic about them. You had to prime, load, and fire and try to get 2 to 3 shots off in a minute's time.
If you were lucky.
If you were lucky. And add to that the weight of this.
Can I pick it up?
Please.
Whoa, that is heavy. And it's tall.
It is.
I can't imagine trying to get around my fellow troops without bumping into them, and then I got to get it in position if I'm going to fire it, and I'm being fired at the same time?
Yes, and add to that this hat. You know, a round brim hat would have been easily tipped off your head when you were holding your musket. So what they did was they pulled up the 3 sides of the hat to form what is known as a tricorn hat, and that would have prevented the hat from falling off your head when you were holding the musket. The hat is usually made of felted wool, but a more elegantly dressed man would have probably had one made of beaver. One of our most interesting objects is this lead musket ball that was found in the beam of an attic in a house adjacent to the Common.
Wow, you never know where you're going to find a historic artifact.
No, you don't.
I want to get hit by one of those.
I bet it would hurt. So there's one more item I'd like to share with you. This powderhorn, owned by Jonathan Harrington and used on the morning of April 19th. It's made of cow or steer horn, and it was filled with powder, which they used to fire the musket.
Well, this is a great collection. I know it's only part of what you have, and you do a great job preserving them.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.